It's been 20 years since Hong Kong was handed over to China, ending 156 years of British rule and marking the start of the one country, two systems policy. This policy was once seen as a framework for resolving the issue of Taiwan's status. A few years before Hong Kong was returned to China in 1997, some senior Chinese leaders have assured the Hong Kong public that one person, one vote would be in its future. Soon after its return, China seems to have broken its promise of giving Hong Kong a high degree of autonomy for 50 years. Under the rule of Mainland China, Hong Kong people are struggling to have a political reform.
When the Union Jack was lowered over Hong Kong in 1997, the five-starred red flag of China rose in its place. 63,500 children were born in Hong Kong that year, against the backdrop of the Asian financial crisis and into an atmosphere of political unease.
我叫周可愛啦，我係1997年出世。
But as far as young people of Chow Ho-oi's generation are concerned, the real big event began in 2012. After 20 years, she has grown up. She has never known the colonial past, but she says she has experienced Hong Kong's subordinate relationship to Beijing.
主權移交嘅一個儀式嚟㗎嘛，回歸咗好似返嚟佢嘅身邊咁樣。
Stephen likes to ride his bike through Hong Kong's alleyways. He has a deep understanding of Hong Kong's history. Each street holds a piece of Hong Kong's story. Last month, he led a bike tour to the site where the 1967 Hong Kong leftist riots took place 50 years ago. The riots began on May 6, 1967. Pro-communist leftists became involved in what had begun as a dispute over workers' pay. Demonstrations against the British colonial government turned into clashes and a wave of terrorist bombings. The riots were a watershed moment in Hong Kong's history, forcing the colonial government to improve its governance, and at the same time raising awareness of the need to begin talks with China about sovereignty over Hong Kong.
如果你話要對比呢個即係英國統治時期嘅香港咧，你係唔可以以一個整體嚟睇英國統治嘅香港，你要分返歷史上唔同嘅位置嘅。
There are more than 1,000 black and white photographs on Chan Kim-ching's computer, part of a project called Archival Research on the Future of HK. In Britain's National Archives alone, there are 5,000 declassified documents dealing with the question of Hong Kong. But none of these has been looked into thoroughly.
现在这一年就是回归20年的时候，我们还有30年。
Activist Joshua Wong is also a participant in this privately organized project. He sees the uncertainty of the city's future as an obstacle.
然后香港最大的这个银行就是这个 HSBC 汇丰，他们之前在2年前也说过，他们为什么不把他们的总部从伦敦搬过来香港，也是因为2077年这个 uncertainty 这个不确定的情况。
Hong Kongers were deliberately left out of the talks leading up to the 1997 handover. And it is unclear whether the one country, two systems policy will be extended once 2047 arrives. But Hong Kong's people must find a way to convince Beijing to sit down and talk with them about Hong Kong's future.
Hong Kong was once a byword for prosperity, but since its transition from British rule to China 20 years ago, the city of Shenzhen, just over the border, has risen to prominence instead. A great number of tall buildings have gone up, making Shenzhen the Chinese city with the most skyscrapers. With the opening of the border and Hong Kong's link with Shenzhen, some have begun floating this idea of developing the long unused land in Shenzhen to help solve Hong Kong's housing shortage.
This wooden house on the water in Lok Ma Chau is where Guok Ji Tai's family has lived for 3 generations. 30 years ago, Mr. Kwok was admitted to Hong Kong University, Hong Kong's top school, becoming the first person from the closed area to go to university. Thinking back on the time when the border was tightly guarded, he says that the area was a hotspot for those sneaking into Hong Kong.
通常有時會幫啲小朋友比較多咯，因為見到佢可能遊過去嘅時候，可能同家人失散啊，咁見到咁可憐又冇嘢食啊，咁我都試過招呼佢。
The first defensive perimeter built by the British government in 1951 was unable to keep out the 4 waves of people that fled to Hong Kong between the 1950s and 1980s. In wave after wave, 560,000 people took the risk of sneaking across the border.
因為當時嚟講咧，就如果佢成功地出咗市區咧，佢就可以攞香港身份證嘅。咁呢個叫抵壘政策。
In its second phase, the frontier closed area was pushed 200 meters forward, extending to encompass an area of 2,800 hectares. The barrier was raised to 4 meters high, with razor wire running along the top. It was an iron curtain separating the two sides. But times changed, and in the 1980s, China began a program of reforming and opening up. A wharf was built on the Shenzhen River, and the first generation of parallel goods traders began crossing to the other side.
當後來改革開放再遲嘅時候咧，咁附近對面嘅居民咧就好富有啦，咁咧就好多黃金啊，好多佢哋攞啲錢嚟買嘢係成袋嘅。咁原本係一啲魚塘嘅地方嚟嘅，咁但係就非法去填咗之後咧，就擺啲貨櫃啦，就裝一啲貨咧，就俾啲水貨客咧就運一啲嘅貨品過去。
Since the border has opened and Hong Kong has become linked with Shenzhen, there have begun to be calls for the unused closed area to be developed in order to help solve Hong Kong's housing shortage.
中国的概念底下，其实那些才是中心的部分嘛。它的策略性就是要怎么样将整个城市报局外移，然后未来可能到2047年是有一个概念，就是一体化的概念，怎么可以将我们的城市变成和整个区域里边部分城市可以整合起来，无论是一种经济融合，或者是制度上的融合。
In 2016, the frontier closed area was reduced in size for a third time, pulling back to a bridge on the Ngtung River. With Shenzhen's position as China's skyscraper capital, the Shenzhen River separating the city from Hong Kong has taken on the appearance of a magical boundary, with a bustling metropolis on one side and a simple swath of nature on the other.
The opening of 6 border crossings along the 37-kilometer boundary between Shenzhen and Hong Kong has brought a movement of wealth with large number of traders bringing goods across from Hong Kong into Shenzhen. However, conflicts stemming from cultural differences between the two sides have angered people in Hong Kong. At the same time, the phenomenon of children crossing the border for school and education has climbed to an all-time high.
Not 500 meters up San Hong Street from Seung Sui Station, you'll find a row of pharmacies and cosmetic shops. The sidewalks here are stacked with cardboard boxes and the suitcases of parallel traders. Leung Gam Sing has lived in the Seung Sui area for over 20 years. As he sees it, what had been a simple town in Hong Kong's new territories began to change with the opening up of Hong Kong to independent travelers from across the border.
呢一度如果你話係一個旅遊區，又唔係，啲人係純粹嚟買嘢，佢又唔會喺度觀光。
Beginning in 2009, Shenzhen residents were permitted to enter and exit Hong Kong multiple times a day to carry back goods. In 2012 and 2013, during the peak of this practice called parallel trading, there were 20,000 parallel traders active at the various border crossings. When they had finished buying their goods, they would lay out their luggage in the road and divide up the goods they'd bought between them on the spot.
我哋香港有啲官員咧就會稱呢個係另類貿易，好似係為咗其他人嚟到去存在呢個經濟體系。咁我覺得係好唔健康。
In the evening, the Man Kam To immigration control point is like the entrance to a school. Group after group of elementary school children pass through once school is out. Around their necks, they carry a special green bag. They must have these bags on them at all times, because this is where they keep their student ID cards and border passes.
我们估计呢，17、18年呢是高峰期，那15、16年呢已经有28000多，那16、17年呢，我们估计已经会过3万了。
The eldest daughter of this mainland family living in Hong Kong is already in 3rd grade. Her homework book is written in simplified characters. She goes to school in Shenzhen. It is close to where she lives, but tuition is expensive.
今年的新政策就是说，可以给回流香港的儿童可以回流过来，可能就会有机会的话会转回公立的学校去，这样就费用就省一点。
There is no longer any need to sneak across the border. The border barrier is now something of a formality, and eventually it will disappear. But how will the people from the two sides bring down the barrier psychologically?
香港同深圳嗰條邊界冇咗嘅話咧，我覺得得益嘅係中國，而香港咧係輸家。